welcome to Polish Black Metal Reviewed. Here I have a new band called Piolun. Probably pronounce it totally wrong way, but this is what I know because I don't really know Polish. Now this is some kind of a side project featuring, for example, one of the guys from Blaze of Perdition who actually contacted me about this album, whether or not I wanna review it, and of course I said yes because Blaze of Perdition, pretty cool guys. Did an interview with them a few years ago, and their music is also quite good. Now, as such, I had some expectations for this kind of a band, especially when Polish black metal is, in my opinion, one of the better ones in the world, and as such, yeah, let's do it. I don't even try to pronounce this album name because I would pronounce it incorrectly and just mislead you. So in case you're wondering what it is, you need to do your own Google research. I won't do it for you. Let you do some of your homework, and we can only focus the album at hand. And this is late 2021 release. Here's in memory of Lukas Rubin. May he rest in peace. Died rather young. Anyway, this is an album that definitely resonates in very, very Polish ways. Some people have compared this to MGLA that is, and some would say, yeah, it totally has some kind of a Blaze of Perdition like, but of course this album, as many of the newer bands, stand on its own feet. So founded in 2019, this band is a two-member band. If I said 2021, I meant totally 2022. I'm already thinking the last year, and even though this is technically speaking 2022, of course, I'm thinking about 2021 when I was supposed to say this album review comes out in 2023, and so this is 2022. Very, very confusing. Okay, let's live with my mistakes and go on. So this is the first album by the band that has been here for a little bit more than 3 years. Features 39 minutes and 7 tracks. Pretty basic by those standards. Musically, this is somewhere, I guess, between Blaze of Perdition and Mgła. I'm not going to say it's outright similar, but there are similarities. So it's kind of like late second wave black metal in the terms of being more on the atmospheric side, but not exactly those atmospheric bedroom black metal bands, which are so much about more of creating maybe melancholic feelings or whatever, and not necessarily having so much, memorable riffs or melodies and all that stuff. Piolun comes into play where exactly the riff-oriented music stops, and before the kind of atmospheric, kind of lead-driven music starts. So it fits into this small niche where it's basically putting its hands into two different directions, like hello atmospheric black metal, hello riff-driven black metal, and this is where you shake hands. And now people wondering, what the hell is riff-driven black metal if not everything? Well, let me put it this way: there are lots of bands which are not known so much for their punchline riffs. Whether we're talking about Marduk or more melodic Dark Funeral or bands like, say, Mayhem, there are bands which are definitely, remembered for their excellent riffs and maybe chorus parts and all that stuff. Rather basic if you really think about it. And then these more atmospheric parts which are not so much remembered for their excellent riffs. I mean, think of like Freezing Moon or whatever. But more about the overall feeling. And Piolun kind of fits in between these two different approaches to black metal. On the other hand, it's kind of atmospheric with more kind of dark melodies and all that stuff, but it's not exactly so memorable and right to the point where such a band like, say, Marduk once again. So to me, it kind of reminds of what Mgła is doing with their rather signature style of stuff, but also other Polish bands, especially coming from the same genre. So their interesting approach, and in my opinion, I would even say this is better than Blaze of Perdition, at least the stuff that I have heard. And it's almost like really one of the better ones of 2022. However, there are parts which I feel could be more memorable. Like, it's been a few days since I actually gave this multiple listens. When I wrote my written review, and I was like, okay, this is a kind of a good one, but missing something magical. And now, like a few days later, I'm already like, I cannot remember those individual riffs I know that mind sometimes does tricks, especially if you're listening to a lot of different music. It all gets kind of fuzzy in your mind and you start kind of mixing different ideas. But that also means that really memorable ones, they kind of stick into your brain. Like there are some albums that I've listened to roughly the same days as this one. And I can remember certain riffs like in a way that I could hum to them. I could whistle to them. And then there are albums which I don't even have that kind of how to say, interface, the kind of layer which kind of seeps into my brain and it starts, to be this kind of a catchier part. All I'm saying is this is definitely on the winning line, but something like last minute polishing or fixing the details or making a little bit more memorable is missing. So good, but not great. And I think people who are into Polish black metal should definitely check this one out. It's not the rawest, it's not the most easygoing black metal in the sense of like where you gotta have the super primitive or raw stuff and then the more beautiful and melodic and blah blah blah, but somewhere in the middle. And that's part of the forte of the album, but it's also one of the weaker links of the album, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, who cares? Just check out the links provided in the description box and you can figure out whether you like it or not. I would say recommended, but I know it's not for everybody, so there's that. A good album with a lot of good ideas, but missing something magical. That should sum it up. So hence 7.5 out of 10. An interesting album, and I hope that this band will keep doing more music in the future as well. Side project or not. Anyway, enough rambling. Check out the links, and bye-bye.